Hello, hello. I'm trying to jump in gently because I know my initial hello makes people jump. Awesome, awesome. Welcome to my so called life. My name is William, and this is the House of Sewing. It is a beautiful midweek shablam Wednesday. I hope everyone's doing well as I'm shuffling everything around. No matter how large my desk is, I just jam more stuff on here. Life's funny that way. Was t-shirt weather in the afternoon, but the wind is high. You know what's so funny? It was the same here. It's unreal here. It was raining yesterday. My car said it was 80 degrees, but it eventually went down to 71. Welcome to my so-called life. My name is William. I hope everybody's having a great Wednesday. As always, I am flying by the seat of my pants. It's a beautiful day to go sewing, though. So, like I always say, instead of talking about it, let's check it out. I've decided to 80 would be. Do you know, I am fully convinced this year that the weather has no idea what it's doing. It's drunk. I'm just gonna leave it alone. Oh, so like Ollie Baba brought up, I am making a bed sheet coat. I'm calling it a bed sheet coat because it's made out of extremely cheap material. Um, I got Modelo Man prices for the material I got, but I actually really like the way it looks. So let me switch my camera really quick. Oop, I always pick the wrong option. Hold on. Oop, again, picked the wrong option. I really like the color on this. Once I put it on the table, I was like, oh, this actually looks really nice. So I'm gonna add the arms, but it's early, so I won't be so froggy and start jumping yet. Awesome. The weather here just has no idea what it's doing. I'm still cleaning, still discovering things that I've forgotten or lost. I found a few more shirts that I'm going to add something to, or just, in general, bring them back to life. This week's Friday sews is going to be jam packed. I'll tell you that. Maybe that fabric on top, but used a better structure fabric for the other layers. That's exactly what I did. I lined it with canvas. As you can see behind me, I lined that extremely cheap material with canvas, and now it's stiff as a board. Because canvas does not mess around. And this is actual canvas from Modelo Man that I got for like $1.50 a yard. And you know what? I think it is so frugal season. Then lion. It's absolutely stiff. But before we get to business, really quickly, before we get to the fun part, this program is for entertainment purposes only, and its content is not intended to malign any religion, lack thereof, race, company, individual, or wigs. All opinions expressed by my so-called life and program participants are solely their personal views and do not reflect the opinion of every single human being on planet Earth. I hope everybody has a good evening flying my so-called life airlines. And if anything's going on, if you're feeling froggy, we have exits on both sides. That's I'm scared of the and derecha. I hope everybody has a great evening. Interlining canvas for suits. Well, this particular coat I cut in my Wild West Duster style way, but you know, the canvas is worth more than the material that I actually use. Oh, you see how stiff that is when I pull it through? But I was worried about the integrity of this particular print, so I added canvas. Oh my gosh. But it came out perfect. I really like the print. I have to look at the label to see what it is, but the label said exactly what it is, and I cannot remember now. One of those strange things. But I like working with canvas. I also work with a material that's like it's a weird polyester blend, but it's the stuff that they make for pool furniture. But it's really stiff and it lasts long. So what I did is I took a cheaper material, which is this, and I lined it with canvas, and that is stiff as a board. All right. Eventually, I'm going to pin the arms on that and start sewing, but I have to make some decisions because, oh, excuse me, because my baby lock needs some serious work and I have not attended to it yet. My baby lock sewing machine is an absolute workhorse. And I have become one of those people that I talk about that do not clean their sewing machine and they use it and they use it and they're like, why is this thing wheezing and slowing down? Because you haven't cleaned it. I'm kind of talking to myself. I'm just remembering I'm going to have to turn everything back inside out. I do. And see, that's where the decision making is going to have to happen. Mainly, I'm just looking for the power cords because it's not the Singer Simple. Whatever it was, the one that I bought for $10, it works better than most sewing machines in this room. And that goes to show you never know until you turn it on, because I've paid a lot of money for sewing machines. I've paid full price, retail, gone to the store, paid hundreds of dollars, and a machine that I paid $10 for works much better. All right. And yes, we all need to clean them. I have, you know what? I have become everything that I talk about. So it's just starting to stutter, and it's my fault. It's not the machine at all. I have yet to properly maintain the thing. I really just like misplacing power cords. I think that's what's bothering me right now because it's somewhere. Singer has a different size of power cords, as you know, Ollie, but Husqvarna, Baby Lock, a bunch of different ones. Gosh, there's a few brother machines. There's a certain cord that I have that they all work on, so I have it plugged under my desk. But I have to find the power cord for the other ones. Price sometimes doesn't mean quality exactly, and that's what gets me with sewing machines most of the time. Like this baby lock, I paid I think $15 for it. It sat in here for almost a year until I touched it, and when I started using it, it was like a brand new machine. Until I got my hands on it. All right. So let me get a little bit more organized. I'll start moving everything around and getting ready to sew. But part of me doesn't want to give up on the baby lock though. Partially because the plug is right under my feet. I had a what was it? There was an electronic singer that I used. I loved that thing. And then one day the electrics went out. And that's why I stick to the older machines. And I know people, they have brand new whiz bang machines. Those they are amazing, but I kind of prefer the older sewing machines. All right. I'm just gonna give this a quick test. Let me grab there's a piece right there. Touchtronic. It was now I have to look because it's right here. I put a ton of stickers on that thing. Oh, it was a Singer Brilliance. My Singer Brilliance was an absolute workhorse, and then one day it decided to Go. That was another machine that I got in Ventura. I bought that machine for $5. I purchased the plugs, which were worth more than I paid for the machine. When I turned it on, it was like a brand new sewing machine. Oh, I hope this thing doesn't sound like the chopper. See, but it has that lag. Yikes. I have really overworked this machine, but it throws down a perfect stitch still. Nothing, I can't even mess with that seam. We'll go a little bit tighter. Oh, never. Newer. Singer Brilliance was okay. My Singer Brilliance was a workhorse. I made a ton of clothes on that machine, but the problem with the electronic sewing machines is once they go out, someone in my on my level of expertise does not necessarily know how to fix them. The old school sewing machines, I can fix almost any problem, even on more modern ones. But with the when you get the electrics involved, it gets a bit hairy. All right. I'm going to do that one more time. Yikes. It sounds decent, but I don't know if we'll see if it can hold up because the jacket that I'm making is extremely heavy. The chopper sound could be just lint between the feed top bar and the upside of the needle plate and the underside of the main cast. I can't fix high. Thank you. I thought I was alone on that one. It's one of those weird things. You might be right, Ollie Bob. Where is my defluffing brushes? Oh, right. I have defluffing. Oh man, the crick. You can tell it was a hot day today because the crickets are out already. Oh, those drawers are such a mess. Oh, right. Okay. So I will not spend all night trying to find that. I think I'm going to have to look for the other cord. Once they have the circuit board that is beyond what I can deal with, I agree. And that's pretty much the only vice that I have. And the early electronic sewing machines were extremely overambitious. I have a Merit LCD screen. I turned that thing on. It worked for 10 minutes. And then the screen went out. And everything works inside of it, but you're literally sewing blind. Hey, how's it going? Hey, Rashawn. I had a good old time sitting in the car. You guys had me going. You guys had me going today. Great to see you. Great to see you. I'll be there on Friday ready to fight over Tupac and Biggie. I will be there on Friday. That's right in my age group. Right in my age group. Oh man, I knew I should have put these arms on earlier, but life gets in the way. I had a ton of stuff to do. Do you know what's so funny? I kind of tuned out too. All of a sudden I was like, "Oh, Thundercats isn't involved, huh?" Okay. Okay. I'll probably just work polls Friday because I won't care too much. Do you know what's really funny? I have an opinion that I think will shock people as far as the artists go. I'm not as left or right as you think I am as far as that conversation goes. I'm actually biased towards someone that you don't think that you probably wouldn't think that I would be. But I will leave my spoilers for Friday. All right, let me switch my angles because I'm going to try to add these arms. Whoops. But I absolutely love your I love your concept. I love what you're doing right now. Like it's we need it right now. The people need it right now. I'll probably just awesome. 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 All right. You know what's so funny? I'm not used to a working mic stand, so it's gonna take me a second. I went out and purchased all the pieces to make my microphone not a floppy mess anymore. Oh. All right, so hopefully that machine will hold up. I need to do an entire day where I dedicate to that machine because it definitely needs some love. Definitely. So I am loving this print. It's it's something different than I thought what it was. Once I got it out, it's actually a lot more black and yellow, and it looks great. I love the way it looks. So I'm gonna add the arms and a collar. It's gonna give it a different vibe. I do not necessarily know where this is from, but I'm here for it. At first, I thought it would basically when I made what's really funny? I made a Kofi video and I got thousands of views and I had nothing but positive things when I made Kofis. The second I went to Kenti print, people were like coming at me. So that's what inspired my disclaimer and everything that I do now. Because inevitably, no matter what you do, it will offend somebody. And I was so shocked of all the videos I've made of all the chaffs, all the crazy things. Somebody was offended by the Kenti print. And I do way more offensive things. You know what, Rashad? Honestly, sometimes I think it's a troll, but it happens less now. But people come at me hard on Twitter. I think it's happened less because I've switched my name from Godless Sewing to my so-called life. But there is somebody who watches my videos and likes to complain about it on Twitter, and they'll send me because I'll block them, and then they'll be like, "Oh," and they'll send me another complaint on Twitter. It really wasn't either Prince. And I think there. I don't know. I think I just triggered somebody, and they lost it on me. But because of that, they inspired my disclaimer. And you know what the funny thing is? I need to turn this inside out before I start waffling and woofing and forget about what I'm talking about. And I always say, like, the internet is a funny place. You have the right to not say anything. But it always made me laugh that like I'm literally sitting in my garage sewing and people are like, "Why did you make that?" or "Why did you make this?" And it just makes me laugh. People are weird about the least. And thank you. Thank you. And I wish like I said, like and I also I I made a bed curtain cape because I love finding abstract things and turning them into clothes. So at first I thought it was actually a piece of cloth, but it was just a really fancy I'm sorry, shower curtain. It was a cloth shower curtain, and I turned it into a cape. It was a Southeast Asian deity, and a few people came at me, and I had to let them know, like, I'm from the West. I literally, hey, Skits, how's it going? Meanwhile, they see something getting domestic violated, and they say, "I'll stay out of people's." Thank you. Do you know what's so funny? Because I work in outreach, I go off about that all the time. Like, I hope you would have the same energy as helping somebody as you would come at somebody on the internet. Because I worked outreach, and there are certain communities, and I'm not even talking about anyone specifically, but people will say a lot of things online, and you'll be like, "Hey, we're doing this and this in downtown." Nobody shows up, and all the people who said they were, they don't. Oh, you got me triggered. You got me triggered, Rashad. It's true though. But I think there's that veil of security, And again, like that's why I come with my disclaimer. Like I am here to have the time of my life, make goofy clothes because I was quite gothic. And I don't even know why. I was quite gothic. I'm always glad for the ones I have stuck up for. Absolutely. And I'm on this weird quest to bring color back to my life like it's 1992, So it makes me laugh when people come at me crazy on the internet. Did I? Yes, you did, but I'll give it to you again. I'm a izquierda or derecha. Do you know what's so funny? Whenever I say that, there's somebody who clicks off. So obviously, my disclaimer does catch a few people, but that's one of the reasons I've been kind of cautious because people say crazy stuff to you. And the funny thing is, if you really want to get down to it, I don't even think they were from the tribe that wears Kenti print. Because I saw the Ashanti prince wearing it at the king's coronation. I was like, "Ooh, that's nice. I have that same cut." But like people are fickle. You know what's funny, Rashawn? If you're still here, that one day you had that stream about people, that was real. I like that was real to me because I feel the same way. Like there's a difference. There's people. There's just a big difference, and people will do anything and say anything. Okay, now I have to pay attention because I'm lining this up. And it's always that first pin that's important because I'm trying to line this up. There we go. There we go. I love humans. I hate people. There it is. There it I'm definitely a human first kind of person. Oh, that's funny. So for anyone tuning in, I am making what I'm calling a bed sheet coat. This is a cheaper material that I got at the San Fernando swap meet, but I lined it with canvas, so it makes it stiff. It makes it super stiff. I got peopled earlier. Do you know what? People consider me? I don't know. I, I'm not considered rude, but like I read books everywhere I go, and I've noticed like somebody will say something because I've made a lot of friends at my son's MMA class, and this one guy was like, "Yeah, he that rude guy because he's always reading books." I'm not rude. I'm just minding my own business, and I'm polite. I say hello. I greet everybody. It's just I wasn't allowed to have an opinion because I was a man. Yikes. Yeah. You know what my new thing is? My new like I've been practicing this weird, like I don't even know what to call it. Avoidance. I've been trying to I don't even know how to explain it. They're okay, like recently I watch a lot of gossip or like what's called wow, wasn't allowed. Collision avoidance. I watch a lot of like gossip shows. I call them chisme shows. I watch a lot of shows of people talking trash about people. I'm not kidding you. There are people I didn't even know existed. I forgot that Shannon Sharp existed. I knew Shannon Sharp from was it the Packers? From junior high. Ocho Cinco, I hadn't seen him in 30 years. And the internet has brought these people right back in my life. I don't listen to small talk, but I've been purging a lot of those people out of my life. And there's this channel I watch that introduced me to this young lady named Princella, I think is her name. And I've been watching her for a couple months. The other day, I was like, I can't believe I'm still subscribed to this person because I'm watching their stream and I feel my blood pressure go up. Oh, so today I've been purging my YouTube. I'm gonna miss a lot of the Chisme shows, but it's that time of year to get them out of my life. I don't need that kind of negativity. Oh, that's why I sit here and make bedsheet coats. To everybody on the East Coast, I thank you for staying up and listening to me waffle about the inner workings of my life. This week's Friday shows, I'm gonna have quite a few things. I hope. I've been adding a lot of hoods, and I'm really getting ahead of myself. I like Princella once per quarter. Do you know what's really funny? I can watch anyone, even people I don't agree with, but if I watch someone I don't agree with over and over, it starts getting to me. And then I have this weird existential crisis of like, why am I here? There are so many people I was subscribed to just because I felt like it kept me on the beat of society. I was there, and then I'm like, what am I doing here? You find out like I try to be a peaceful person, I try to be. But again, like there's certain things that I didn't even there's certain genres, certain things that I didn't even know existed until I got online. And then like I didn't know I was real like I'm into hockey. I watch curling. See, that's a positive thing. To most people, they would fall asleep. But I'm subscribed to USA curling and Canadian curling. And I didn't even really know that until I got on the I watched it in the Olympics, but it wasn't until I got all up on YouTube and I was like, I need to change in my life. Maybe I just really like winter sports. That's my thing. I need to move some of this. And that reminds me, So Frugal is back. So Frugal is back. So be prepared for me to pretend like I don't buy fabric all year round so I can pretend it so I can be in this contest. I like hearing different opinions. I just have to remember the threshold of enjoyment and information. If I'm not learning or enjoying, time to go. Same. Same. That's my but I reached this weird like I watched way too many documentaries about Rome, about Greece, about Africa. Like I was like, I need some entertainment, but then I fell into that world of people talking trash about each other. I do watch a lot of niche stuff though. I still watch a lot of sewing stuff. It just depends on my mood. And today, watching Rashawn's channel, it reminded me that like I'm still subscribed to Defenders of the Earth. I don't know if anyone remembers that cartoon from the 1980s. It has Flash Gordon, all different types, the Phantom, all different types of character. So I try to watch semi-positive things online. Isn't saving old news stock from the big pile of fabric, dumps frugal. That is true. I do buy like that Santee Alley fabric is straight from the 1990s. Every time I look at that, I hear the Sister Sisters theme song. And now I hear it even more because I heard it the other day. I think the only stuff I buy new are socks and same. I agree. Totally the same. You know what? You're right, Ollie. I can participate. I am frugal though because I'm not like. You're right. I'm just frugal in a different direction. I think everything from Modelo Man is the last step before the dump. But okay, I agree with you. You know what? I wish Kilroy was here because part of me still thinks that he's a front because his inventory was getting low. I was feeling so sorry for him that I was spending extra money because his prices are insane. This man, like, I'm walking out with 80 to 90 yards of real fabric, nothing fake. It's not this bed sheet stuff. It's real quality fabric for like 25 to 30 bucks. There was one time I told him, like, hey, can I give you a tip? And he's like, nah, man. And I'm like, dude, there's something else going on here. But you're right. You're right. And it's funny that you would say that. I'm so used to Modelo Man giving me these large amounts of fabric. When I get fabric from anywhere else, I'll say, hey, can I get 5 yards? They measure it out to exactly 5 yards. Modelo Man, he's got mariachi music bumping in the background. He's like, oh, you're my friend. And he just literally starts doing this. One, like, there was every time I tell him 4 yards, he gives me 7. If I tell him 10, every time I tell him, okay, I'll get 10 yards, that's when I start. I'm literally walking down the streets of downtown LA with these giant rolls of fabric. He gets a deal. I think he buys a brand last cut and it uses stuff in bulk. That's why last time when I walked in, I was taken back. But you know what though? Like LA is it's a really deceptive place because it's not as nefarious as you think, but then something nefarious will happen. So I wouldn't put it past Modelo Man. He probably gives $2 for 5 rolls. It's unreal. But the rolls, these are three, like in the video, what he has are half rolls because I know he's selling them because I come back and I can obviously see that he's cut them off, but it's just, man, I wish I had it like he does. Whatever he's doing is working for him and he could sell me massive amounts of fabric for cheap. But it spoiled me now because I'm used to getting massive amounts of fabric and I can make all these elaborate projects because Modelo Man, like this canvas stuff, he gave me 15 yards of this stuff. He has such a good selection too, though. That's the thing that trips me out. I wish I could force myself to learn sewing. It's a it's all about baby steps. And like there are certain skills that people are born with. Man, I'm one of those people that had to learn everything I do. And like anything else, it's just a repetition of doing it. Furniture, car interior, deck canopy stuff, fashion. It seems to all be there. He has everything. He has everything. And downtown LA is one of those, like I said, it's one of those weird places. It's one of the last places on earth where I go and it's like, it feels like a 1980s movie. Well, that's because downtown LA is stuck in it. Like the architecture, everything is like 1980s to 1970s. Oh, right. This arm was cut kind of weird, so I really have to pay attention for this one. But I think, like I said, there are certain skills that people are born with, and like I just learned over time, and I'm still learning. That's the thing. I'm still learning every day. Like that's why last time Joy was here, she laughed at me because I was like, "Wow, I finally figured out how to make a hood in one step," you know. And she just laughed at me like, "Ah, rookie." I was super lucky. I learned to quilt first, but got taught by several award winners. I fixed and had all the knowledge for the really old machines. They helped me out. I helped them out. I'm so lucky. Heck yeah. I learned from my grandfather, and my father really killed the stigma for me because he had a sewing machine, so I never thought anything crazy about it. But he was also raised by his grandmother and his mother. All right, I think the arms are attached. I can tell it was more of a warm day because I'm like almost sweating in here. Oh, and in no way will I harp on the weather because I know everywhere else is probably still cold. All right. I really have to position because I don't know if this machine is going to hold up or not. Oh. And the funny thing is, all this machine really needs to be is cleaned. It's not like it's not being used or old or anything. It's just I haven't cleaned it. I've done so many projects. We've sat here week after week, done a ton of projects. And I'm doing the walk of shame on this one because this is like sewing 101 is maintenance, and I just have not cleaned this machine. All right, but we're gonna use it until the wheels fall off, or until or until the feed dogs give out. All right, let me move my coffee and anything else that will cause a potential disaster in here. Oh, you know what? I've done a few test pieces. The only way to see if it works is just to see if this thing can fly. All right. Oh. The canvas really adds weight to this. All right. Let me move anything that's going to fall off. Perfect. Remember to check the bobbin. You know I'm going by the seat of my bobbin pants, Ollie. How often do you go looking for machines in shops? It's one of those things. I used to sell a lot of sewing machines, and then it became a habit. I live in the land of thrift shops, so I try it. I try to avoid them, but I go often because I resell a lot of stuff, and it's not just sewing machines, but I go often. The print on the outside is canvas. I At first when I saw it, I thought it was something completely different than what it was. This is red, white, and blue. I thought it was something in a completely different realm. Oh, excuse me. All right, so we're gonna find out. This is truly a moment of truth right now. Because this machine's gonna tell me, like, yeah, I can do it, or you are crazy. Oh, right. Oh, but I'm a bad example because I am obsessed with buying sewing machines. I have a lot of sewing machines. I'm in the hunt right now for an industrial sewing machine, but I don't want to pay the industrial price. So I'm looking for a refurbished one because, you know, I can fix most sewing machines. Oh, it can still take it, but it definitely has that get to the chopper sound. Oh, poor machine. I'm sorry. I am sorry to do this to you. Let's see if it's catching on the other side. Oh, it's working. It's not happy. After this, I'm going to have to completely clean this machine. It looks Ukrainian Christmas or a xylophone band polka outfit. I like that. I know a guy where I can get 100 yards of this stuff. I keep my eye out for SoCal, not so much there. North in Oregon, yes. Oh, right. This definitely still has the chop. All right, I'm gonna stop there and I'll come back. The baby lock though is still undefeated because this machine For everything I've put it through, it's an absolute workhorse. And I've had this thing for years now. And I bought it secondhand. Oh man, you know the weather's good when the crickets are back. Ouch! All right. I put a lot of pins. I'm going to be singing that song this evening because I put a lot of pins in here. Hey, Happy Maker. Great to see you. Great to see you. I'm in the middle of fighting pens and canvas. Yay. Hello, hello. It looks like the polka outfit from SCTV. Oh, you know, it's funny. I still watch SCTV on YouTube. Yay. Hello, hello. Great to see you. Both are great new machines. This Baby Lock Natalie is an absolute workhorse. Like I said, today I'm the problem. I should have cleaned it before I started. So it definitely has a clack because I have to defluff it. And you were right, Ollie. When I looked, there was fluff under the feed dogs. That is probably the exact reason it has that choppa sound. Yay! Fighting prints and stuff material gets me sometimes. I'm like that with clouds. In the 70s, my mom made my brother pants out of fabric similar to that. That's awesome. Do you know what's so funny? When I get certain prints, I get them from the guy I call Modelo Man in downtown LA. I fall in love with them, and then I'm like, I need to go back and get more. But luckily, like he's smart. He's smart. All this stuff, like this stuff is in front because he has massive rolls of fabric. Oh, that machine is not happy. I sort of talk like Bob and Doug McKenzie. Eh? I love that. I love people's accents from around the world. I gotta run, but have a great night, Rashawn. Thank you so much for stopping by. I'll be there on Friday to cry about 1996. That print type was so 70s. I'm definitely gonna go back and get more. Do you know what's funny? Happy Maker, you have inspired me to make a pair of pants out of She was an amazing seamstress. That's awesome. Do you know my father got me and my grandmother, but my father, so there was never any stigma. Bell bottom with that print. Do you know still to this day people are still searching my channel for the bell bottom videos I've made and the Janko ones. So I think I need a bell bottom spectacular. I laughed when someone called them a flare pant. Have a great night, Rashawn. Have a great night. Yes, I will be there on Friday. Oh, Friday's gonna be fun. But I heard someone call. They called, and they were younger. They were in their 20s, but it made me laugh. They're like, "Oh, I love a flare pant. I like flare pants." And the people on the panel were like, "You mean bell bottoms?" Alibaba, it was bell bottoms that my mom made. Awesome. I love memories like that. That's like recently I thought my dad had a 401A and it was a 404. So I'm on the hunt for a 404. But it's more because of the nostalgia. The blonde lady from ABBA has a similar look, print, knit, outfit, 1973, 1975-ish. I would laugh if this material was that old. Modelo Man never shocks me with like the stuff he has is just his whole existence is strange. And the fact that he can sell me so much fabric on the cheap is weird. So I wouldn't be surprised if this was from the 70s. Oh, man. Oh, this stuff is stiff. Perfect. I really got myself with pins this evening. I've really got myself. You guys are giving me great ideas because I still have a considerable amount, but like part of me really wants to go to downtown this weekend. But we'll see what happens. Oh, and that reminds me, I think So Frugal began. Or I ran out of thread. Bobbin, let's see where I stopped sewing. Okay. This machine is definitely hurting. Aw. Okay. Let me switch this real quick. Do you know what's really funny? Whenever you hear crickets in here, it was at least a 70-something degree today. There are some runs that mimic or replicate past material for TV, movie industry, last off rolls, get sources out of discount. It was already paid by the production. I have a ton of stuff. I have leftover clothes from a show called the Hughleys. I have the Hughleys jumpsuits. I'm gonna bust it. It's my grain jumpsuit. It literally has Hughleys on the back. Oh, but I have a ton of stuff that I bought from the movie industry, and they're obsessed with buying Levi's, putting patches on them, gluing them on, and then ripping them off and keeping the patches. So they sell these. I've my suicidal tendencies vest. I got it for like $5 because it came from the movie industry. And I covered that thing because the patch glue would not come off, and I couldn't scrub it off or anything. And so in my video, I even said, if you can't fight it, feature it. I did bring up check the bobbin. I was here's well, the bobbin still has a decent amount, but you know, it reminded me, I think I have a full bobbin here, so it's that kind of Wednesday. Perfect. Oh, that's a bit clicky, so that might be on the wrong side. Or I have so many bobbins, and I keep every bobbin I've ever received from a machine, anything, and some are bent. Some are just flat out bent. So sometimes bobbins, if they're clicking, I'll get rid of them because it's not worth the trouble. And plus, I have hundreds upon hundreds and hundreds of bobbins. Oh man, there we go. Perfect. All right. Oof. That came out a little bit too much. Perfect. I hope everybody's having a great evening. I am fighting with my sewing machine right now. Perfect. I knew this machine wasn't necessarily going to be able to hold up because I've been neglecting it, not taking care of it, so it's wheezing and coughing. But this is my workhorse machine, so we're going to go on the other side, start over, and see what happens. Oh, I'm going to have to pin everything again, I have a feeling. These are the fun parts of sewing that no one ever talks about. Same bobbin spin on the center. Oh, some bobbin spin on the center. I went through this really weird phase where I just got rid of everything that was on the cusp of not working. And I had a lot of bobbins that were just used, bent. And you know what? Things happen over time. Things get beat up, the metal gets bent, and I would keep on working with these bobbins, and like I had it one day and decided to get rid of everything. And it kind of saved me a lot of grief. A lot of grief. All right. Perfect. This stuff is stiff, but we're getting there. Perfect. Perfect. Did I go all the way around? I think I did. All right, I'm going to take that off and see how it looks. Oh, I did not go all the way around, but I will take these pins out and it will let me know how much spacing I need. Oh, canvas, this canvas definitely is fighting back, but I know a few tricks. Okay, I just need to find, there we go. Okay, I need to check that again. Actually, I need to sew this piece first so I can get rid of that pin. Perfect. Okay, now it's malleable because that piece is down. So I have to find the curve. There we go. You know, with this, I just have to make sure I'm not sewing anything together like a rookie. Oh, the baby lock just went through like 4 or 5 layers of and it worked. It worked. Oh, that's hilarious. This machine is an absolute workhorse. After all these years, I haven't even defluffed this thing, and it's still going. Baby lock are definitely superior machines. I have to say that because I've worked with quite a few machines, and this thing is an absolute beast. Perfect. The canvas seems to look and react and bend like the chest stuffing canvas for a suit. Some people pay large money for that. Modelo Man sold this to me for $1.50 a yard. I think I just saw it go out of time. I hope not. All right. So we have an arm. Make sure all pins are pulled. The important thing is when I look through here is to not see daylight. So I do not see any daylight. So I'm going to keep going. Awesome. Oh, man. Okay, I'll just check something really quickly. Perfect. And there are certain projects that I stopped doing on stream because they're so difficult, but I figured that I had most of this done because I still have to do a collar. But after this, we're going to try it on and see what it looks like. Or should we keep it with no collar and just make a Spock smock, as they say? It jumped forward. Oh, absolutely. These. There we go. Perfect. Perfect. Oh. Oh, okay. I'm like, what are you doing? I know what's going on here. Perfect. Beautiful. All right. Almost finished. I have been trying to make something like Spock was wearing in A Voyage Home. But really it's just a long shacket without a collar. That's the Vulcan style, basically, is no collar. Oh, right. Oh, that is the needle. Oh, buddy, you're going to be replaced. Oh, okay. I know how to fix this. Poor guy. It's always towards the end. I swear I will take better care of you, machine. Oh, that's funny. It's always towards the end when this machine just completely bonks. But that's why you should take care of your sewing machine. I hope everyone's having a great evening. I am almost done with this. I'm going to add a collar in a minute once the machine just decides to start playing. This is definitely not today bobbin kind of day, but it's Wednesday, so it's expected. I said originally I have not defluffed or cleaned this machine, and this is what happens when you do not. And it's definitely time to replace that needle. So when I get everything going, I'm going to replace the needle. Or if it's not bent, I might keep going. This is definitely some pirate sewing this evening. No. Doesn't seem to be in the way of the doesn't seem to be in the way, so I will continue. Perfect. Put the bobbin back in and we'll keep going. That's the funny thing about a machine like this is once you figured out all the quirks and things like that, I've used this for almost everything. But I'm biased because this machine's been good to me, so I'm biased. If I found a machine that worked better, I'd probably jump at it. All right, so let's try that again without the utter and complete smash. It's just adjusting the grub screw that holds the shuttle carrier. It's being thrown off a lot though lately, and I think it's because I have not been taking care of this machine. Oh, perfect. And you're right, the timing is off. It's the weight of the machine where it starts the material starts dragging because of the weight of it. Okay. All right, come on. We're almost there. Beautiful. Okay. I think I made it all the way around. Let's find out. Oh. This stuff is stiff. This canvas is extremely hard to work with. All right. It's been a while. It's been a while. I forgot how hardcore it is to work with canvas. But through all the drama, through the machine bonking a few times, I think we have contact. So we're going to find out in a second after I pull all of these pins if all that hard work was worth it. Oh, there's a pin. Beautiful. Oh, I see it. I see daylight. That's easily fixed. Oh, this thing is so heavy. That's part of the problem because it's so heavy that it's pulling on the machine and it's throwing everything off track. But I think if I get it at a good angle, I should be able. All right, come on. Beautiful. Perfect. Oh, poor bobbin. There's the wobbly bobbin that messed up everything. I should chuck it straight in the garbage. Perfect. All right. All right. So I'm going to switch my angle and let's see if this thing fits. Perfect. Oh, tonight is definitely one of those evenings. This is the end. This is a good way to end a crazy busy day. I've been running around. Oh. It might have a pinstripe. Didn't think of that. All right. So I know that the outside design is popular, but this is the color I was going for because I am the king of reversible clothing. For some reason, this particular print caught my eye. I don't know what it is. I absolutely fell in love with it. But I didn't know what culture it was. I got it really cheap. So give me one quick second. I'm going to try it on. I'm actually really stoked because I have a ton of fabric laying around. I always buy something for lining and I'm like, oh, I'm going to use it for lining. And I never do because I fall in love with it. Oh, this is. I might not add a collar on this. Oh. This is glorious. Let me back up. Let me clean up a little bit in here. Do you know what's so funny? There's always that excruciating moment of like, why did I pick canvas for a lining of a coat? But I absolutely love how this came out. And now this thing is thick. It's lined. Thank you so much, Happy Maker. Thank you so much. I'm probably going to add a collar, but I'm going to sit here for a minute because I love how this came out. One of the reasons I work with certain materials is because canvas underneath something that one of the reasons I call this a bed sheet material is because it was really inexpensive and it looks great. I love the color. I love the cut. And for some reason, the Mimi G R11407 arms, I have them perfected. So my cups are perfect. It shapes good for that stiff lining. I like that look. You know what it is? It's a dramatic movie look because if you had a weak lining, your coat wouldn't have the integrity, So I really like how this sticks out. I went an extra 5 inches longer than the pattern. I like how it looks. I'm starting to notice people are in love with long coats right now. I'm seeing long coats everywhere. And I'm noticing this really dramatic cuts where it's either below the knee or almost all the way down to your shoe, you know. So yes, the cuffs are working out really good now. I think after all the coats I've made, I think I've finally perfected it. Oh, awesome. Awesome. Perfect. I'm going to take a quick break and I might add a collar. Yeah. I'm just really digging the color on this. I'm really digging the color. I will be here, Alibaba. I'm not going to run too fast. Okay. I have quite a few projects that I actually need to finish. This week, I set out on this weird quest to finish quite a few things, and I'm about half finished. But it was actually a Herculean task because it's like a bunch of shirts. It's quite a few shirts. I really like the cut and the print on that. And the lining is beautiful. Mm. Mm. I don't know if I'm going to add a collar on it. I think I will. I think I'm going to. I've been watching, not talking, just wanted to say hi. Hello! Yay! I hope, well, we're here for you regardless. Joy, great to see you. Great. I was wondering where you were. Great to see you. Oh, I need more coffee. I need more coffee. But I really like the cut and the way the print looks. Oh, yay! Hello, Joy. Hello. I really need to have a stream where I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna have a stream of instead of next in fashion, it's gonna be next in sewing machine. No, I need to catch your title. I'm gonna try out all my sewing machines, all the one I call my backups. I'll even bust out my Singer heavy duty because for some reason people love to hate that machine. And any video that thing's in, people are like, "Oh, is that a Singer heavy duty?" Yay! Hi, Joy. I do like the print as clothing. I didn't think it would work out, but it did. It was such a strange print to me. I have to look at the label and see what it is though, because it said something very specific, like oak tree or something, you know. But you know, English is a very funny language, so we get really wordy and descriptive with things. But I really like how this came out. I'm gonna yeah, I think I'm gonna add. Well, I don't know. I don't know if I should go full Spock or I should add a collar. I don't know. It's one of those weird things. I haven't decided yet. And like I said originally, this was extremely cheap material. So I was able to go crazy with it because I got this for like a buck a yard. When I say Modelo Man prices, it's just insane prices, you know? And I call this bedsheet materials because it was extremely thin. It reminds me of like really cheap bed sheets. And as someone who's a purchaser, that stuff's all over the place. All right, perfect. The pattern is matched on the front sides. A collar will cover some of that matching pattern. Oh, so are we leaning no collar? I do like that look. I could just call it a day, cap it, and put a pin, you know, because I do have thousands and thousands of buttons in this room. I am dying to start using a button, using the buttonhole feature. I should see if what happens on this one. All right. Might be better than with a hood. I am in the hood era. Do you know what's really funny? I went through this really, really weird phase in my Mimi G R11 pattern, R11 407 life of adding these giant hoods on my jacket. I mean, they were huge. I look back and they were bigger than the ones I make now. They were huge. I look like that really cool nurse that's about to bring you an extra jello. This is definitely giving me like nurse smock right here. A long time ago, I made a dolphin jacket. I fell in love with that thing. The stream coat for the stream cut for a bit. Oh, it's probably my Wi-Fi. My Wi-Fi is terrible. But I made a dolphin coat a while ago. It was a navy blue cut with pink dolphins. I designed it. I made a hood for it and everything. I put it on. I looked at myself in the camera and I was like, I look like a nurse. As somebody who spent a lot of time in the hospital as a child, there's a certain look of nurses' clothing. It is a tough call on this coat. Absolutely. I'm kind of at a weird impasse because I like the no collar. I'm in my hood era. One of the only reasons I haven't put a hood on this is because this week, every item I've made, I put a hood on. So one of the reasons I made this was to present something without a hood. And now that I'm talking, I should probably make a collar because that was the entire reason of me making this thing. All right. Let me turn that off for a second. I was absolutely that was the whole reason of me making this because everything this week that I've made has a hood on it because I am in my 1990s hood era right now. It is a tough call though, Ollie. I totally agree with you. I'm really liking how this came out. Do you know what it is? It's the color. Because I couldn't decide if this thing was black, blue, or red, and it's yes. But I didn't think that the black would come through as much as it did, and it looks great. And I have been leaning heavily red lately, even though, like, heavily red. Even though everything else I own is blue. That's not, these blues don't match, but they're close enough. Awesome. A fur white collar. I don't know if I have the emotional space right now to deal with fur. That stuff gets in your lungs. That stuff gets everywhere. Hard to make a decision on this one in my eyes. I agree. That's why I'm still sitting here. Why, hello, polished and assembled. Great to see you. Mandarin collar. It's growing. It's growing. I like that. Yay. Hello. Waternay. How are you this evening? Great to see you. Awesome. The cuffs came out perfect. So I'm kind of tripping because I'm so used to my emo cuffs on my long sleeve shirts. Full Emperor Ming. I like that as well. I have crowned myself Emperor sewing a few times, quite a few times. Oh, yay. Hello. I'm down for a hood like that or something in that. Yay. Hello, water. Nay. Hello. And see, this is the impasse because I make so much. So I already have at least 8 or 9 cuts like this that have a collar. I'm sorry, that have a hood. I'm trying to not make a hood because everything else I'm making this week has a hood. I like the idea of the Mandarin collar that Waternay just said. I kind of really like that. I'm on this weird thing of like where I just will put a button up at the top. That is like my new style. And it's not new to anyone else but me, but it's how I've been dressing lately. It's weird. Or making clothes, I should say. Motorcycle jacket crossover. Well, this is a bit long. This is a bit long. But I really, really like the idea. I have to do something though with the collar. I know. You know what's so funny? We have reached an impasse. I really do like that idea though. I don't know what I'm gonna do. What I'm gonna add to it, I don't know yet. Like I said, I'm probably gonna fold in a minute and make a collar. I really like the way this looks. A Mandarin collar sounds good. That's 2 votes. Yeah, you know what? I'm leaning. I'm Googling too. Just to make sure. I like it. Ooh, I really like that. Okay, but I'm gonna try to not go overboard. That is my problem. That's my problem. When I make a collar, I make it 1975. When I make a hood, it's literally like it's huge. While I was recording this week, I was recording myself. Let me see if I could find it. Where is my camera? And my hood fell off in the wind. Let's see if we can do some behind the scenes here. I don't know if you'll be able to see this on here, but it was actually hilarious because the hood was so humongous that it caught the wind. Let's see. This is a little behind the scenes. Oh, it's that stupid glare. A little behind the scenes here in the House of Sewing. Oh, that glare is awful. There we go. Oh, there's the wind. And it took my hood. I mean, it instantly took my hood. So the big red sewing hood idea is good sometimes and it isn't, you know. But it made me laugh because the wind kept on taking my collar. I'm sorry, it kept on taking my hood. Good times. Good times. So that will definitely be in my Fridays. A little behind the scenes here in the House of Sewing. What is the difference between a Nehru and Mandarin collar, or are they the same? You know what? I'm going to Google that right now because I do not know the answer, and we live in the modern era, so I'll be able to give an answer. Okay, to me they're the exact same thing, but one has spacing and the other one doesn't. I see what you're saying, Happy Maker. I see exactly what you're saying. They do look, and you know what's funny? When I typed it in, they're trying to sell me a shirt. The same shirt they were selling me for Mandarin collar, they were selling me for Nehru collar too. And apparently, Walmart has triple blessing sharp Mandarin suits. Wow. Okay, I need to get off the internet. It's a regular collar. Absolutely, Alibaba. Sometimes a hood, sometimes an airport windsock. That's exactly what it is. It's totally an airport windsock. That thing took flight. I laughed. See, that's why I have fun doing this. Man, if I have a saying sometimes if you're not laughing, you're not living because life will get you. And I was out there and I knew it was already kind of a windy day and that it just took the hood right off my head. And that's one of those moments that you can't even fake it, you know? Okay, so the difference between I don't know if I'm saying this properly. A Nehru collar and a Mandarin collar is like an inch or two, I think, from what I can see. One's open and one's closed. Okay, so I'm gonna start shaping, cutting, and sewing. Let me take this off and hang it up. Give me one quick second. Oh, you know it was 80 something. Well, it was 70 something degrees because the crickets are out again. Good grief. Oh. Okay. I have to remember. Yay!
Hello. I was just messaging you. Ding dong.
Hello, ding dong. No, I can't say that. That's not nice. How are you?
I'm all right. Got my stuff done, so now I get to hang out.
Awesome, awesome. If someone else called someone ding dong around there, I'd be like, what did you call me?
So how's everyone doing? I've only been lurking for the last few minutes, so what's going on?
It's a Wednesday. It's a Wednesday. Wednesday is definitely the machine. My baby lock is like, clean me or I'm going on strike.
I suggested that was about when I came in, and Alibaba was talking about being keel hauled and made to walk the plank for suggesting that you defluff. And I seem to recall that I was told quite sanctimoniously on Monday that this was pirate sewing and we didn't do cleaning of bobbin races.
First of all, I am quite sanctimonious in general. And pirates use rules as guidelines. Do you know that's the only thing I got from all those Johnny Depp movies? That is the only thing I remember from any of those movies. Those aren't rules. We use rules as guidelines. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to defluff that thing. And I couldn't find the cord because I've really been cleaning. I've been going off. I've been going out of my way. Like I have this really crazy idea. Do you want to hear it?
Okay.
I have space to utilize. You've seen it. You've seen the closet back here.
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking because I have racks on both sides of my closet. I'm thinking about taking the door off and utilizing the space of my closet and putting one of these tables in there and pushing everything back.
Mm-hmm.
But
I believe I suggested that before too, but I'm on
doesn't
board.
that
It's a brilliant idea.
Doesn't that, it's so funny. 100% credit to Waternay because she gave me the idea, and 2 months later, I finally decided to do it.
Well, you did say.
You know what the sad thing is? I remember that conversation now. Oops. This was all Waternay's idea. Thank you very much. I completely forgot about that. Yes, I'm going to utilize all the racks in there that I forgot I had. Can you hear my crickets?
Yes.
Hey.
But they're pretty quiet on my end. So
my house. My house is so infested that I was sitting here this is 2 nights ago. I was sitting here. I'm watching Netflix, Paramount. It's the middle of the night, and a cricket literally landed on my desk. And I looked at it and I'm like, and it reminded me of that scene in Star Wars where Obi-Wan Kenobi drops it and he's like, why, hello. So the cricket landed on my desk and was like, it's 2:30 in the morning. And I'm like, oh, my house is infested with crickets. Infested.
That's off-putting.
They're everywhere.
Maybe you need to call an exterminator.
So it's funny, you're kind of segueing into my next story. I got to hang out with my buddy today. My ex-wife had a meeting. It was an online meeting, and parents were needed, so we had it here at my house. And I got to hang out with my buddy. I love kids when they're 5 and they get to go home. I miss that face. I miss that little guy face. He played Mario. I gave him he loves coming over here because I give him all of Isaiah's old toys. and he calls me William. He's like, William, I love coming to your house. I'm like, oh, say William again.
And young Mr. Sewing doesn't mind that you give his toys away?
Finally. When he was like 13, he was like, no.
Yeah.
Well, I have I feed strays, so my backyard's protected. But I definitely, and you're gonna laugh, but whenever I find a lizard in the house, I'm like, oh, you filled your W-2, you can live here. Because when a lizard comes in the house, all of a sudden they're quiet.
Mm.
And when Isaiah was younger, we named a lizard, the lizard's name was Fred. And Fred was probably Fredwina because there was other lizards after it. After a couple months, we had many a lizards. But Fred went crazy in eating crickets.
Mm. I mean, you don't want a lizard infestation either.
That's the problem.
You know.
You're kind of robotic.
All right. Well, I'm going to jump out. It might be because I'm plugged in today, but I'm going to jump out and I'll jump back in and then I'm going to turn off my camera so I'm eating my sandwich like a cave dweller.
With
sandwiches.
I used to take pictures of Fred. Fred got humongous. But we didn't know that Fred was pregnant. But Fred was just like hoovering crickets like Kirby, you know? So I'm like, good for you, Fred. You have a job. But I had a house lizard, a real one.
What happened to Fred? Oh, here, let me log out and come back.
Awesome. For anyone tuning in, I am finishing up a coat that I started. I've been debating on what I'm gonna do to it. I'm probably gonna do a Mandarin collar or something in that realm. Or we're gonna see what happens. Cats love crickets, huh? I did not know that. So
what happened to Freddie?
He walked out. Fred did his duty for Queen and Country, honestly. Fred was here, like, because we paid attention because we knew where Fred lived because it was warm behind the television. And Isaiah was younger. So, you know, it's intriguing when you have a lizard in your house.
It's the whole, like, natural experience.
And that's why when anyone ever complains about roaches, I always come with a line that at least roaches do not yell. I feel like the crickets are yelling at me.
Oh, yeah.
Because I moved back to my town. How old is my son? 14. I moved back to my town 15 years ago. And I've lived in this house ever since. And this house has been infested with crickets since the day I moved in here.
Yeah.
And there's really nothing I can do about it.
Well, there are things you can do about it.
I've well, this was a while ago. I had my house fumigated, and here we are.
Well, with doors and things open, they probably come back in. So you might have to do it somewhat regularly.
And if you love crickets, come to my neighborhood. I'm not kidding you. You can sit in my front yard, and anytime the weather's fair, where it's 70 degrees, it's strange. They're echoing everywhere because it's the entire neighborhood.
I'm just not a fan. They're noisy.
Like I said, I feel like they're yelling. But it's also you know, I kind of tune them out after a while. But I don't have any sensory issues or anything, so I just kind of ignore them. They've become part of the background. Like I read in loud situations and I can ignore everything around me and still finish my book, you know?
I'm a little bit sound sensitive. I have trouble ignoring things.
The House of Sewing and lizard farming. Hey, if that would stop the crickets, I would. My someone I knew had what are those big ones called? They're not iguanas. No, they're desert something. My ex-wife had these really big lizards. I didn't like the way they smelled.
Oh.
They were huge though, and they had an open cage. They were on lava rocks. They were good around kids. They were, they're kind of docile, but they eat a ton of crickets.
Hmm. Do
But
they smell because they need like special cleaning or cage cleaning, or do they
I
just
think
smell all the time normally?
I want to say what they smell like, but it's not that kind of channel.
Mm.
They just smelled like something that was awful.
Oh
I
dear.
think it was a Gila. It was something I can't pronounce but it's a common lizard. I'm not an exotic pet person, but I seem to date people who are in love with exotic pets. I'm not kidding. I dated someone who owned an Argentinian python. One of the most terrifying things I've ever. I wouldn't sleep at this person's house. I lived with somebody that had 2 ferrets. If you have ferrets, you do not like people. Um
At least ferrets are cute.
oh
They're mischievous, but they're adorable.
they're they like getting into things.
Mm-hmm.
Lizards, rats. I've known people that have owned rats, like the big ones, that they treat them like people. I'm not an exotic pet person. That's on the list. That is on my new list of things I shall not do. Because I used to be like, oh, I could date anybody. If you're Joe Exotic, we're not dating. You cannot own an exotic pet around me. I've learned the hard way. And Mike Tyson kind of said it the best: never own anything that can drag you away.
True.
Those were words of wisdom, because he told a story about how he owned a Black Panther, and the Black Panther tried to drag him in the cage one day.
Oh.
And if he wasn't Mike Tyson, he wouldn't have survived. He said it too. And you could see the fear in his eyes. It was an interview on Canadian television. It's on YouTube. You can watch it right now. But Mike Tyson was telling the truth that day. He's like, be careful what you own.
I wonder what happened. But I know I've said before, there were times I was really glad that my house cat was her size and I was my size.
Cats, and see, that's the thing. A dog will wake you up. If something's happening, a dog will be like, hey, Timmy's down the well, A cat will be like, good luck with that.
The cat would be a couple days later. Oh, by the way, I pushed Timmy in the well.
Yeah, exactly. Or the cat will be like, oh, where's Timmy? I'll help you look. That's the cat. So go ahead, please. I'm just cleaning, getting ready for the next shift of what I'm going to make.
Not that my cat did anything to me. Just, sometimes she get that look in her eye.
Yet another thing that I won't say on stream about cats, but cats are loyal for a reason. Like all the strays, they love me in my backyard. When they see me on the street, they're like, I don't know that guy. I don't know that guy. Who are you?
My grandmother used to call that cupboard love.
Oh, it drives me. I'm stealing. I like that. Those cats have nothing but cupboard love.
So who else all is here tonight? I saw Happy and Alibaba, and I heard Joy swooped in and swooped out, or she's
I think she's
lurking.
Working. Yeah, she's working hard.
So how is everybody doing?
That was one of the reasons I didn't jump into Rashawn's stream. Well, I had to leave early, but also I wanted to finish my coat, and I knew if I jumped in on his stream, there's no way I would have finished on time.
Mm-hmm.
But Friday I will be there.
My friend is coming over on Friday. He was supposed to come yesterday, but then he was pooped out, so he's going to come Friday.
Are you an exotic pet kind of person?
Well, I like different kinds of animals, I'm not afraid of snakes or something. I feel I like the way they move around. I think it's pretty cool. But I want my pet to be a companion, not something that kind of, just sits there and suns itself. So, and I also wouldn't want something that's going to mess up my house or get into everything. So,
Would you ever own a monkey?
no, because they're just, they're too much. But, if I could like hold a monkey and hang out, if my friend had a monkey, that would be kind of cool.
When I found when there's a bunch of states that kind of made it illegal, but when the Tiger King was on, do you know how shocked I was when I found out you could buy a tiger for $2,000?
That's, tigers. Now, I don't know if this is true or if it's just something that sounded true when I read it on the internet. But I heard that tigers don't like form that bond that say lions do. Like tigers, they'll be friendly sometimes if they feel like it, but they're never like not going to eat you because you're their human kind of thing.
So I subscribed to the actual Joe Exotic. I can't believe I'm talking about the Tiger King. I got really into the Tiger King because I lead that kind of lifestyle. And I'm not talking about the one you think. I'm talking about being on a property and doing crazy things. But first off, I was just shocked at how cheap a tiger was.
That's unfortunate. Those big animals, they need to be out on like the wild and nature, like vast nature preserves and stuff, not somebody's backyard.
And also to go along with what you were saying, when I was subscribed to and I think I'd still subscribe to the Joe Exotic channel, but multiple times, Waternay, he's attacked by his own animals in the cage and he's like whacking them with a cane, like, or someone comes in to rescue him and he just acts like nothing happened.
Yeah, no. That's not safe.
I would have to go to the hospital. You'd have to check my blood pressure.
Yeah.
Multiple videos, because he was running for president. And so he would go in the cage to show like, and you know what? That is a flex because he is rich because he owned a zoo. He was.
I mean, that doesn't mean that he'd make a good president. Maybe he could be in charge of Parks and Rec or something.
I wouldn't trust him to balance a checkbook. We know all of this in hindsight. I say certain things because when I watched the show, I saw a lot of myself because I grew up in an open environment like that. Nobody was on drugs. We didn't own tigers, but I know that like what it is to be around a property and a bunch of people living on the property. Like I know what that is,
Yeah.
So I can identify in that sense. So when I watched it, but where I'm from, nobody's like that sped up. We just drink too much coffee. The movie Animal Farm is a movie about commies. Just saying. Alibaba is filling the Kilroy role this evening.
If you're watching Kilroy, I hope you're feeling okay today. And if not, I hope you feel better soon.
Absolutely. You are missed, number one. You are absolutely missed. I have to take a break. I've had too much. Today's been a crazy day. Like we had a hardcore meeting. I like I say soccer parents, but it's just a lot of driving around,
Mm-hmm.
And it's increased more. Like, but I'm almost done with my Star Trek book, and it's getting good.
Oh.
It's getting so good that like I was reading and people were talking so much I couldn't concentrate. I was like, close book. I will finish it later because I don't want to miss a word. It's getting good. And like the thing about reading a book in a reoccurring series, okay, we know the ending of what happens in Enterprise. We know in Star Trek, all of it. So when you read a book that has reoccurring characters, when they introduce certain characters, you're like, okay, you're either gonna croak, you're either gonna turn, or like I don't know you. So I know, like, within the first couple of chapters, I was like, oh, I don't know you. Something crazy is going to happen to you. And here we are at the end of the book. I was right. I love Star Trek books because it's like an episode I haven't seen.
Yeah.
It's getting good. It's getting really good. And that's the one beautiful thing about Isaiah. You know, we're shut-ins. I have not left the house in 4 years, and I'm man enough to admit it. Well, when I say left the house, like I go into a lot of public places. I'm surprised no one has taken a picture of me. I wear a cowboy hat and a mask. Judge me. And so, like, I'm that guy, is what I'm trying to say. And so I'm kind of a shut-in, and we're finally getting out, and I'm back to my blistering pace of reading Star Trek books.
Nice.
And I'm going in order, like I said, because I own, it's so funny. I owned 100 something. I thought I owned them all. And I was watching a video where someone was like, yeah, I'm up to 300 something in the Star Trek books. And I was like, click off the video.
You're like, okay, if I read one book every 2 days.
They're excellent books. They're just, because I do a lot of hurry up and wait.
Mm-hmm.
Driving around, like picking up orders for my job, just rando stuff. And I've always kept books in my car, but I try to keep them a little bit more light because life is heavy enough. And I used to make patches, and then someone bought me a Brother PE, whatever it is, and I stopped making hand patches. I'm not even kidding you. It's so sad. I used to make them in the car. And then, somebody, AKA, please don't ever come by my house. Daddy Warbucks, my benefactor, whoever, sent me a embroidery machine.
Wow.
Still to this day, I do not know who sent me that machine.
So weird.
And you can see the fear in me in the video where I'm like, thank you so much. Please don't come by my house. Like, I was genuinely scared. Because it came in my real name, and at the time it was like an $800 piece of equipment.
Do you think you were secretly sponsored by Brother and you lost the email that said, "Hey, so and so, we've sent you this sewing machine"?
I only look disorganized. I would catch that email. my emails are on my phone, so that changed my life. So I answer all emails because I get a bing, the ping. I'm actually quite prompt with emails. I wish they would on all my accounts. That reminds me. Let's see. I haven't cleared my thing. 17,000. I should clear my email.
I'm
weirdly. Oh, sorry.
No, that was it.
I'm trying to see what kind of material this is because this says Beaded Buffalo Blanket by Arvel Rogers for Fabric Quilt. This reminds me of bed sheets. Of those like this. That's why I put it in the title, because this reminds me a long time ago. I still have the blanket. My grandmother bought me this baseball comforter combo. Sad thing is, I still have it. Grandma would always hook people up for Christmas, and if you didn't say what you wanted from my grandmother, she was going to go to Sears and get you a comforter. But it was quality and it was warm and I loved that thing. But the sheets were always cheap. They weren't lined. They weren't edged. They were just a cut piece of cloth like this.
Oh.
So, but I still have the blankets and the pillowcases. And I also and this is because my mom kept all of it. And one day she's like, I'm gonna get rid of this. And I was like, yoink. I have original Star Wars bed sheets. I have my brother's old bed sheets. I still have them.
Wow.
The original 1970. I wasn't around yet. I also have real strawberry shortcake
Okay.
full set because of my sister. That shows her age. What else? I have that baseball. I have all kind. Oh, Snoopy, like old school, like real peanuts. Well, it's all real, but I have like peanut sheets, stuff. This was definitely 1970s kids.
Yeah. When I was a kid, I had a Howdy Doody lunchbox. I didn't
Wow.
even watch Howdy Doody. I just liked the lunchbox for some reason, I guess. I'm not sure why. Maybe I liked the red color and maybe it was less offensive than some of the others. I don't know. Maybe it came with like cool containers in it or something.
Yeah, I was in love with all kinds of stuff though. Like, because it was constantly on TV. It wasn't even from my era. I was obsessed with the A-Team. I was obsessed, and like every Saturday afternoon, my dad would look at me and be like, "Is this really what you want to do with your afternoon?" I'm like, "I love this show." He's like, "Dude, this show was on 10 years ago." I'm like, "I don't care." And so we'd watch it every Saturday afternoon. We watched the A-Team for a couple hours.
What did you think of the remake? I think we've talked about it, but say again. The movie, I mean.
The only reason I went and saw it was because my beautiful, lovely mother is just as nostalgic as I am. And when I was a kid, there's a Vaughn's by my house that used to be a hospital. And Mr. T, there's a picture of me. Mr. T's holding me.
Wow.
I didn't like the movie. My mom was cheering. And it was recently on cable. And mom called me. She's like, the A-Team's on cable. And she just hung up the phone.
I saw the movie and I felt like the TV show, it was violent, but they weren't like really slaughtering a bunch of people. It was more like, I don't know, blowing cars up and chasing people away. And I felt like the movie, not to be any, spoilers, but I felt like they just like came in and it was just a bloodbath. And I'm like, ooh, I don't know that I'd like that.
It was not, like you said, they drove around Los Angeles helping people. They said the country, but all those places were in LA. But like they drove around helping. That was the show was about. It was more like, do you know, Kilroy got me watching Hawaii Five-0 again. Those shows just had storyline. Like even when I watch Homeboys in Outer Space, it'll start in one place and take you to a completely different place. We don't have television shows with depth like that anymore. And all those shows had better writing than we have now because people cared back then. And Mr. T was awesome when I met Mr. T. And the funny thing is, he still rocks the chain. And during the Super Bowl, he was in some commercial and he had the mohawk. I looked at my mom and she was like, "He's rich enough to have plugs. Don't judge him." Because I'm bald up here. I'm completely bald up here. I know Mr. T has no hair up there.
Maybe he's just fortunate and blessed.
No, he got that spray fro. I saw in that Rogaine commercial that made me, I was like, I just wasted a half hour of my life. And it was on TV, I think. That man just looked so eager. He was sitting in his van. He's like, "I'm going to go talk to my family. I'm so excited." I was like, "Oh, you got your fro back. I want my fro back." It was spray paint and plugs. But yeah, I'm biased towards that because like, and also chips because they my hometown is where the freeway ended in the 1970s. And so when they were building what we consider the Five now, Chips was filmed all around my hometown. And so I still watch Chips. I can hear the dun dun dun, and they haven't. Their opening song is amazing.
I'm trying to. I would recognize it as soon as I heard it, but I'm not.
I'll play it for you after this stream. It's a banger. All of those like 1970s, 1980s, like they had funk, they had bass, they had a bassist, and they had drums. Like those songs were amazing.
I
But
think
it's
being
oh, sorry, go ahead.
I think the one I'm thinking of for Chips is actually the one for A Team. No. I think I am thinking of the Chips one because the A Team one was the other one.
A Team's talking. These men were, and it's like these men were wrongfully accused, and blah 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 blah. And
Oh,
Chips is bump bump ba bump bump. And then you hit the hi hat, and then it's the da na na na. I'm gonna play it for you after this. You know, the only reason I don't play it is because I actually would play the Chips theme song in some of my old videos because I love the song so much. I got it caught. Like one day, YouTube went like something happened in YouTube. They went through all my old videos. They were like, "This is a copyright strike. This can't be seen in other countries anymore." And I was just like, "Whatever," because there's nothing I could do about it. What can you really do when like they're mad I played a song from when I was born? I'm playing a 40-something-year-old song from a television show that no one watches anymore.
maybe someone new acquired the publishing rights and had to flex their ownership.
It's like that evil guy who owns all the Singer commercials. And I went on his page. He owns thousands of truck commercials too, like
Hmm.
from the 70s and 80s.
That's an interesting thing to collect.
It's evil in an open forum like YouTube. It's a landmine. It's a literal landmine floating around YouTube, just waiting for someone like me. Like, ooh, I'm into sewing machines. I'm gonna innocently take this 30-second video, not knowing it's gonna destroy my channel. I'm bitter because I've learned like there are just certain things you can and cannot touch, and it's just interesting to me that someone owns the rights to sewing commercials. Get a museum is like that too. Anything they have the rights to, they enforce. It drives me crazy. Where's that line? Where is that line between you have the right to intellectual property and I just want to play 30 seconds of a Faith No More video and at the end of my song? At the end of my video.
Well, it's hard too because even the artists and the publicists are at odds because for the most part the artists recognize it as free publicity, but the publicists are like, no, we need to be paid. I don't know. I feel like you should, if it's, something that took up X amount of time in your video, then they should get X amount of the revenue if that's what they make a claim for. But I guess there's also, some people could.
I'm sewing in my garage.
Yeah.
I'm editing on a MacBook Pro. I'm not doing anything too complicated.
Yeah, some people I guess could, like you take a song and you use it to boost your thing and like the same way that they'll do with a movie or a movie soundtrack or something. And so that they expect to be paid. So I don't know.
People share my stuff all the time. Do you know how shocked I was when I looked and I see how many people have shared my stuff?
Nice.
I'm sure a lot of it's positive, but some of it probably is like, look at this shrub. But in the end, I chalk it up to I'm on YouTube, so I'm fair game, but that's me. I have a live and let live mentality.
Well, sharing is good, but using your thing for their gain isn't necessarily what you want to have happen.
But where's that line of like, I don't know. I'm weird. When you put yourself out there, you kind of put yourself out there,
Well, see, it all comes down to intellectual property. And no.
I just want, still to this day, I'm shocked that I Just Want to Rock Out literally saved my channel. They weren't going to take my channel down, but they were like, we're going to copyright strike you. You won't be able to post for 6 months. What's going on? And I told them, I'm just posting this video because I want to rock out. Literally a half an hour later, they took the thing away and you could watch my video. I think a human reviewed it and was like, this guy doesn't have any nefarious intentions. He literally just wants to rock out.
Or maybe they took that to mean that, yes, you were okay with the owners getting all the revenue for it.
Yes. Yes. I just want people to know that, like, I'm stuck in the 90s. It's not even complicated. See, but that's that weird fine line where I don't even know anymore, because I watch channels where people are singing songs and they get taken down, and I watch channels where there's this one channel I absolutely love. He plays full videos on his computer. He's sitting there, but he's playing full videos, like on YouTube, while streaming and interacting with the chat every Friday morning.
Well, maybe he hasn't gotten caught yet.
It's one of those weird things. And you know, that's why I kind of have gone back to sticking to the sewing, because that's what I'm here for. You know, that's why I don't talk about politics. That's why I don't get into like interpersonal relationships. You know, I'd rather talk about sewing. But my only point of contention is I need to know what I can and cannot put in my videos, because I like to have fun. That's my whole thing, is the party, and you know, and just sewing is something I love to do, and I have a good time while I'm doing it. And I like to share the fact that I'm stuck in 1982 with Shalimar. I'm stuck in 1991 with Faith No More. Eye of the Tiger came out in 1982. I want people to know that.
See, some of these things, they seem so recent and yet so far away.
Shalimar, 1982. Shalimar went from like barely anyone knew who they were, and they exploded. That's when like 3 or 4 of their songs came out.
I know Shalimar, but I'm not thinking of any of their songs off the top of my head. Name some of their hits. Refresh my memory, would you?
Oh, don't worry. After this stream, because you said that, and I kind of offended, we're gonna have a Shalimar crash course.
No, I mean, I know Shalimar.
We're gonna start with Dynasty, and then we're gonna go to Shalimar, because they were all in the same recording group, and they intermingled people in the group. And I need to look his name up, but they're I think it was Jeffrey Daniels. What is his name? Moonwalk. Is it Top of the Pops? Thank you. Jeffrey Daniels, in 1980, I don't know what, he invented the moonwalk on television in the UK, and he was in Shalimar. The group couldn't go, and because I'm a geek, I know this. The group couldn't go, so they sent him because they knew that he knew all the words to the songs. And he even said in an interview, he kind of got nervous, so he was practicing this move, and he invented the moonwalk on television. He was the first person to ever do the moonwalk, and you can't even dispute it, because it's, you know, he did it years before Michael Jackson did. Michael Jackson just perfected it. I'm a Shalimar stan. Like hardcore.
I saw a video about the moonwalk recently, and I feel like they were showing clips of people before then doing moonwalk stuff.
It's always the last to perfect it. Like Jimi Hendrix didn't invent the song "Hey Joe," but I dare you to tell me who sang it without Googling it.
Yeah, some people do make like the iconic version of something.
Charlie Chaplin did the moonwalk too. Do you know one of the greatest Charlie Chaplin stories of all time? And I got this from a movie, and I looked it up because it's true. Charlie Chaplin went to a Charlie Chaplin lookalike contest in Rio de Janeiro. He placed 3rd. Legend. Charlie Chaplin like stood on the 3rd thing, like, okay, I lost in a lookalike contest of people who look like me. Legend. Charlie Chaplin is a legend for that one. He was gracious about it. I would be mad if I lost in a lookalike contest. I'd be like, hey, I'm the original.
Did he tell people afterwards?
Of course, yeah. But he came back to America and then told the story. He's like, I came in 3rd in a Charlie Chaplin contest, it was huge. It was like, it was news, because he was famous. Well, he was, he was already famous by then. Hey Joe, by Dylan, I heard that Hey Joe was from the 1920s. I could be wrong. I heard it was an old 1920 song. But see, that's the thing about music. Things are so shared that we don't, at this point, we wouldn't even know if it was something from the 1920s because no one's around to say, hey, I was the first person who sang that song.
Yeah, this is true.
I love that Charlie Chaplin story, though. That's legend. That's some legendary stuff. Wouldn't you be mad if there was a Waternate lookalike contest and you showed up and someone's hair was just a little bit curlier and they got first place? You'd
I
have to
don't know.
tranquilize me.
I might be a little bit amused by the whole thing. And then I'd tell them, I'd be like, just so you know. I am Waternay. I don't know who this chick is. She does look like me, but
Well, Dylan did get a lot from past songs or redid them. Hendrix did Dylan's version. Oh, I did not know that. I'm not
Alibaba knew.
Sorry, go ahead.
Alibaba knew because he was in the studio when Hendrix recorded.
A long time ago, you hear things on the subway. A long time ago, I heard this guy Wolf, and I thought he was just telling stories about. He's like, I used to hang out with Jimi Hendrix. Me and my brother were twins, and he'd trip out on us. Blah 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 blah. I was later watching a documentary, and that guy was telling the truth. But to me, he was just some crazy guy wolfing on the subway in LA, which happens all the time because people tell stories all the time. But this man lived it. He really was it. And the funny thing is, now that I sit back, like he had to have been up there in age,
Yeah. I hope you take that as the good-natured comment it was, Alibaba. I genuinely enjoy hearing all your old stories and comments.
No, absolutely. Absolutely. When I write my book, I was going to call it Almost Famous, but that was taken, so I have to find another title.
Very true. Although I hear they stole it from some guy named William. So
hey, we live in in the revisionist history, so if you say it enough, people will believe you. Hendrix likes to play the songs others did if he liked it. That's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah. Now I have Hendrix stuck in my head.
A good song is a good song. And sometimes, well, two things come to mind. One, Dylan wrote some good songs. I don't care for the way Dylan sings. I know for some people that's heresy, but he wrote some good songs. But some people they have such an iconic version, unless you like truly change it and make it your own, it just doesn't work. But there are, some songs maybe you should leave alone or put a little bit of space around them or something. But
did one.
An artist that can, make a good version of something and make it theirs and breathe new life into it, I'm all for that.
I'm obsessed with Van Halen. So Van Halen did amazing remakes. I still sing. I put the Happy Trails Van Halen version in one of my videos. It's when I thought I was gonna move, and every time I watch it, it makes me cry. My own video makes me cry.
Oh,
I don't know if I can get a. Do you think I can get a? I can't remember if I got a copyright strike because of that. But I'm gonna hunt for it. It's that guy. It's Wednesday. Everybody has lives. They have things to do today, so we're gonna make this a clip show. Let's see, my so-called life. It was near Christmas when I thought I was gonna move. Let's see if I can find it. A year ago. How are you doing?
Me?
Yeah.
I don't know. I've been kind of tired, but today I found a replacement for my water filter out in the garage and switched the light bulb in my sitting room and checked to see if I could mount the new smoke detector on the old smoke detector mount. So, feeling accomplished.
Do you know I've made so many videos? And because I give them insane titles, I can't necessarily I have to like remember them what was going on in my life at the moment.
I remember you putting that clip in one of your videos, but I
It
don't.
was like before I started live streaming all the time, but all of these say a year ago, but like that whole thing in Ventura happened 2 years ago.
Mm.
At least I think it did. Welcome to the Fleet was 2 years ago. Okay, I need to get out of here. Okay, nostalgia over. I've been YouTubing for a while. What they really are trying to do is the old blues thing, making them traditional songs everyone plays in the clubs live. That is true.
I like that.
Actually, I'm going to open that because after this stream, I'll show you at least 1 or 2 good videos.
Okay. Remind me the Shalimar hits that I'm not remembering off the top of my head. I did say I was tired. We'll go with that.
How about tonight? We're gonna make it a night to remember tonight or over and over. I'm not a singer. I'm the one person in my family who can't sing. Every single person in my family can carry a tune. I can't.
Oh. Well,
It happened.
again, I think you're teachable.
But like they were like just naturals. Like, wow, how did you do that? Let's see. Was that okay? I think I can gauge it if I look at like So Frugal from last year. Gosh, I've made a ton of videos. This is back when I used to make 2 or 3 videos a week instead of 2 or 3 live streams a week.
Well,
Yikes. I
different
am
priorities. Making videos takes a lot. Takes a lot of time to edit stuff.
that reminds me. This Friday, oh, I have to talk about that before I completely forget. I might do a Friday So's live. Because I don't know if I have the space on my thing. What are they called? Terabytes?
Uh-huh.
Okay. So I have an 8 terabyte thing. And my thing's at hold on, let's look about this Mac.
Well, but you film a lot and then you have to have a lot of space for the clips. Even if you just put a little bit in your video, you have to have a space for the whole thing that the clip came from.
And I don't know why I keep on forgetting to buy the mega thing. Hold on, all volumes. Yeepers. I'm at 7.13 terabytes out of 8. Do you think I can make one more video?
Yeah.
It's so deceptive because Apple does not let you go past a certain point. So if it feels you don't have enough space, it cuts you off. And that's why I'm scared.
Yeah, but with a terabyte, you should still have space even with, formatting and all of that. Although it's probably not optimal. I think you've got space to do video, but you should get a new storage device or clear out some of the keep the videos but clear out the clips.
That's heresy. Then I wouldn't be able to have a blooper channel. I am a blooper channel. I am a blooper. I could barely speak the language, my first language. My blooper channel is a gold mine. That reminds me, I need to make another blooper. Need to get an external 15 terabyte sucker that will help you out. You know what's so funny? I think the one at my local Walmart is like 16 or something crazy. But I'm gonna have to step it up. I'm gonna have to step it up to the next
Yeah, I need
excuse
to
me.
get a hard drive.
You would laugh if you saw how many I have blazed through though. This will be my 5th.
Well, again, you film a lot, so
Well, I didn't know what I was doing, and I would buy a bigger one and then transfer the file, and then buy a bigger one and transfer the file. I should have just bought the humongous one.
or
But sorry, go ahead.
well, maybe keep like these months on here and then these other months on the next one. And
I intermingle my videos though, and I'm all about recall because I have reoccurring things that no one notices in my videos.
well, but you could transfer the recurring things over the recurring clips and then just leave the rest of it in the archive.
I think when you say factual, I'm gonna Amazon a pirate flag, and when you start speaking in facts, I'm just gonna start waving my pirate flag around. Like, don't confuse the story with fact, okay? No, you're right. I could do that, and somebody who I actually learned from, they would erase their stuff. I have everything I've ever put out from my first video. I am scared. I have a video of what this room looked like 5 years ago before I changed it. When it was actually just a man cave, like a sad one too.
I mean, that's fine. It just doesn't have to be on the same drive as your current filming that you're using.
I'm gonna we've been going for a while now. It's Wednesday. It's middle of the week. I I actually feel accomplished though because I finished what I started, and this Friday we'll find out if I put a collar on it or not.
I was gonna say you didn't finish. You didn't put a collar on.
Well, we'll find out. To be continued. Why don't you should tune in on my Friday shows. Same bad time, same bad channel, and we'll find out if it actually works or not.
I can't come Friday because my friend is coming over.
Well, I'm gonna make a video. You're roboting. And
Are you kidding me?
you probably were this entire time. Oh, hold on, you just kicked back.
Am I good now?
Well, you're kind of roboty, but at least we can see you. You were like completely stuck. But like I was saying, I'll be back at it on Friday, either making the video if I don't have the space, or like when I transfer my files, it takes a good takes a couple hours.
Mm-hmm.
So hopefully I will remember to buy that giant thing tomorrow. Or when I attempt to make my video, we'll see. We'll see what happens with my video though. But regardless, no matter what, I'll be back at it on Saturday. I'll have a video or a live stream out on Friday to show off all the stuff that I've been making. I want to thank everybody who's been here. I know I live stream a lot. I do not expect anyone to be here. I just like talking and sewing. So I want to thank Alibaba for being here through the entire stream. Happy Maker, thank you so much for stopping by. Joy, thank you so much for being here. And everybody else, Rashawn, thank you so much for stopping by. The artist formerly known as Godless Sewing, you're a hottie, kid. Don't stop doing what you're doing. And to everybody else, I will see you on Saturday. I hope everybody has a great rest of their week. I sincerely thank you, and I thank you for joining me. Anybody who's watching this in the future, you guys are the MVP because the numbers are unreal. So I thank every single one of you. I'll be back at it on Saturday. Until then, reinforce your seams, be yourself, and I will definitely see you next time.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you, Alibaba. I'll see you next time. Bye.